Hey everybody, it's Overdrive, and today we're doing something I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. We're going to be ranking all of the gadgets in Hot Wheels Velocity X. And as you know, I've been playing this game for way too long, so this is going to be a mix of just all of my experiences with these gadgets and what I personally think. Obviously, this is opinionated, but I'm trying to be as objective as possible. But yes, there are going to be some biases and whatnot. So we're going to get into this, and actually, to start this off, I'm going to show a clip which shows the time to kill for every single gadget in the game. So I will be showing that right now, and then we can talk more. So that clip took me like 2 hours to even edit together, which is pretty crazy. But anyways, now that we've seen how long it takes to kill with each gadget, I think that's obviously a very important factor when you're talking about which gadgets are going to be the best and which ones are going to be the worst. So I'm just going to go in no particular order, but right now what I'm looking for the most average gadget so we can base everything around that. And so I'm looking at this right now, and I think what's jumping out to me is probably the Freon Bomb. And I think we're going to sort of use this as a good basis. So, unbeatable, elite, great, good. I think we're going to put this in just good. I think that makes sense. And by the way, this is the tier list created by RevItUp7. He also made a gadget tier list video, so I'll put a link to that. You should check that one out as well. I'm sure we're going to differ on many things, but I guess we'll see what we have in common. And also, he put Surf Crate as F tier. You know, whatever that means, probably has something against Surf Crate. I don't personally, but yeah, it's not the best car in the game. But anyways, so Freon Bomb. So I'll give you my reasoning for every gadget. I'm going to put this right in the middle. So the rate of fire is actually pretty good, but the damage output upon getting a hit is kind of low, all things considered. But you also have to consider the Freon Bomb is extremely unique with the fact that it applies an effect to the enemy that you hit. And that effect is sort of like it's like a slowdown effect. It sort of makes you a little like slippery and slowed down. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you get hit by it, you notice it immediately, and it's like, it can be kind of annoying. If you're in a corner, let's say, or against a wall, and you get spammed by Freon Bomb, it's actually extremely difficult to get out of that. You're just going to be slow, and you can't really accelerate, and it's just kind of a mess. And of course, it sort of has a bit of knockback. But yeah, overall, just because the damage isn't that high and you're going to be beating this with other gadgets probably, and again, any gadget can win any interaction in this game, basically, in the right circumstances. But I think that leads me to believe it's kind of right in the middle. But again, there is another thing. You can ricochet shots with the Freon Bomb. So you can actually bounce the Freon Bomb off of the wall, and it explodes after a set amount of time if it doesn't run at anyone directly. Also, I don't know if it's every version of the game, but at least the PC version, if you have the graphics on all the way, I think it has like a white effect to the screen, which I guess, well, that doesn't really matter because there's not multiplayer in the PC version, but in the AI, it won't be affected by that. But anyways, the point is, this all leads me to believe it's kind of right in the middle. So I'm just gonna pick something else now. Let's get another sort of ranged weapon on here. Let's go with the Super Zapper. And these rankings could change at the end of the video if I really feel like they need to be changed. So, the Super Zapper I'm going to put in great. I'm not going to say it's elite, but it's definitely better than Freon Bomb and worthy of being a tier up. So the Super Zapper also has a good rate of fire, except when you hit someone with it, they're going to be taking that extra, you could call it like poison damage or like aftershock damage. It basically sticks on them, and then they continue to take a little bit more than what the initial shot. So it's initially when they're hit, boom, they take a bunch of damage, and then they take some more after, with a little bit. So it's going to take less shots to kill someone with the Super Zapper than with the Freon Bomb. So already that's really good. But yeah, I mean, the Super Zapper has a bit of a homing effect to it, which I think is really useful, and it can be very messed up. Sometimes it will just not be able to curve enough in time and hit the enemy. If you're up close to an enemy and you're a medium-sized car and they're a little bit shorter than you, it's going to be like almost impossible to hit them up close because your shot will go over them. It's not the best thing ever. Now keep in mind, if you're a tall car and let's say you're a Hyperliner and you're going against a Vulture, with Freon Bomb, if you're up close to them, it will hit them. However, if you have a Super Zapper, you won't be able to hit them. So that is a point in Freon Bomb's favor. It has a big range for actually hitting people, and just up close you can still hit them with that damage. And also, if someone is behind you, the Freon Bomb will actually hit them because of the weird starting hitbox. Super Zapper will not. So that is a point against it, but again, just because the time to kill is just relatively better, and the homing effect, generally I think that just makes it a bit better, so that's why I'm putting this in great. So, let's see here. Let's go into Sonic Boom, maybe. Sonic Boom it's not going to go in great because it takes a while to get a kill with this, and you're going to need it to have enough ammo in the first place to actually full-on get a kill with this. And of course you can pair it with other weapons, like use the Sonic Boom and then you switch to another weapon and just kind of mix it up. But on its own, you know, I don't know if this would be good or fine. I mean, it is very unique in the fact that it's the only weapon that's just going to hit all around you in immediate 360 radius, in a pretty big radius. I'm not even joking, you can be on the glass panes in Treadwell Plaza and use this, and it will hit the enemies below you. The range on this thing is absolutely insane, vertically too. Like, and it's surprising that it has the vertical range, because visually all it does is side to side, but it literally hits below you. So the hitbox is not exactly to what the visuals show you. So, the rate of fire, you can spam this for sure. Not too crazy, but yeah, I think I'm gonna put this there for now. It's very unique, so that brings it above fine, just because of how unique it is and the situations you can use it. Keep in mind, you could theoretically even use this in a drag race and someone's behind you. It's the only weapon where you would be able to hit a person a little bit ways behind you in a drag race, which is kind of crazy. If the mine that the enemies used was a weapon in the game, then you would be able to use that to hit people behind you too in a race. But the mine is unfortunately not a gadget in this game. So that leaves just the Sonic Boom. Very unique, useful sometimes, just not the most damage though. And it does have a little bit of a sort of pushback effect. Not as much of an effect as the Freon Bomb has. So next, I think I'm going to put on here, how about the, I don't know if I want to do laser. Yeah, we'll do laser cannon. Okay. Laser cannon is one of the more skill-based weapons. It does have a little bit of a homing ability. It's extremely subtle, but it is there. And that's just to help you out a little bit with your aiming. So I think the laser cannon is incredibly powerful when you land a shot, and if you're experienced in the game, you will be landing shots. That's just a fact. You will be landing shots. Even against a good opponent, you can still land shots with it. Um, Unless you're getting, spammed with a freon bomb in the corner or something, you're still going to be able to land shots, and you only need so many to get a kill with this. And it seems to sort of have an effect of the distance might affect the damage. I don't know if it's a distance thing or if it's the side of the car. If you hit the car in the side versus in the front, the damage seems to be different. So it's actually pretty variable. At the end of the day, you're going to do a decent amount of damage if you hit someone with this, but the amount of damage that you do is kind of up in the air. But you know it's going to be worth something if you land a hit. It's just, it could be massive or it could just be okay. But yeah, just because of how powerful and devastating this can be, I think it deserves to be above Super Zapper's, homing and high rate of fire. I think Laser Cannon deserves to be above that, just because of how devastating it can be in the right hands, and if you're just in the right situation. Let's take a look at the oil drum. So the oil drum has a spin effect. It completely causes you to spin out upon getting hit by it. The hitbox is way bigger than you would expect. It can hit people that are behind you, just like the Freon Bomb when you first shoot it. It does unbelievably, just an extremely small amount of damage. But it has its use, and it's good paired with other things on its own. It would be a terrible idea to just try and win a battle with just the oil drum. I'm gonna say, I mean, the effect it has is so powerful and annoying, especially against certain vehicles like Hypermite. But that's an extreme case. But I think I'm going to leave it in fine for now. Again, it is pretty unique with that effect that it has. It's extremely annoying and can just make it impossible. It does good against certain weapons. An oil drum versus a laser cannon, the person with the laser cannon is getting spammed by the oil drum, and it's almost impossible for them to line up a shot, but theoretically possible. But yeah, so again, in this game you're going to see certain combinations like that where one weapon might be preferred over the other, but overall the oil drum just isn't the best choice for a battle. Now we're going to take a look at, how about the Atom Blaster. Atom Blaster is extremely powerful in the right hands, just like the laser cannon, and you can get kills so fast with this. Except laser cannon, you just need to get one hit for a decent amount of damage. Atom Blaster is a tracking weapon. You want to track them with it to get the most out of it, because it's a machine gun, basically. Now, I don't know where I would put this. It's extremely powerful if you can just line up a shot for like 2 seconds and just hit them with all of those bullets. It's insane, the damage output. There is also the case that it can't damage Surf and School Bus, which is kind of interesting. I think this is kind of in the same range as with the laser cannon. I don't know if I would put this above or below the laser cannon. It has a little bit of homing, vertically, and I don't know if it has side to yeah, it has a bit of side to side homing, and also a little bit of up and down homing. By homing, I mean aim assist, basically, like sort of it changes the angle of it a little bit. That does help. I don't know, but laser cannon and atom blaster can both disable enemies incredibly quickly, but theoretically and in practice, atom blaster is just super good. Just super good. And also you can fire a little bit, and if you're not lined up, you can stop firing and save your ammo. Whereas laser cannon, you shoot once, that's your shot. You just used a bunch of ammo. Whereas atom blaster, you can use a little bit and say, wait, hold on a second, let me line it up, and then start firing again. So I think the customization with how you're shooting, with just, you can fire a little bit, or you can just completely hold down the button. I think that's a big deal, and I think that puts it above it. We might revisit it later, but I think that's what I'm going to say for now. Okay, so now we have to tackle... I think now I'm going to tackle Doom Discs, and this is even more difficult than the Atom Blaster to talk about. So, the Doom Discs can be so bad sometimes at every range, close range, medium range, long range. It can be just so bad. It does like no damage. The discs aren't even hitting. But sometimes you just randomly get a one-hit KO with one disc. Not even all three. If you just land one disc in the right way, it will completely kill the enemy instantly. It's just completely random, which makes it just super difficult to actually rank. In the time to kill demonstration video that I put together, you saw that the Doom Disc had like, I think 3 examples of different types of kills with it. So that, I guess we gotta go with what the median is. Generally speaking, Doom Disc would probably be somewhere in this range, just because it's not reliable and you can lose so many battles with it, trying to hope that you're gonna get lucky. I would probably put it, is it top of good tier, maybe? Or bottom of great tier? This is tough. I think I'm gonna say, for now, I think we're gonna say top of good tier. And we may revisit it, but I think that makes sense. Again, it's just so inconsistent, but sometimes it's incredible. But many times it's just not good, and you'd rather have any of these other weapons in the moment. So, now let's take a look at... I guess we'll take a look at Ripper Wheels. Ripper Wheels is really, really bad. It's terrible. It's pretty terrible, actually. We might have to use the Surf Crate tier here. And... I don't know. I think we might have to use Surf Crate tier here. So, I'm gonna put Ripper Wheels in F tier. Here's the thing. The Ripper Wheels... Okay, so you can pair it with other things. You can activate Ripper Wheels, switch to something else, and you can use that weapon while it's still active. That is a useful aspect of it, and that makes it unique. But the problem is, when you have them active and you're driving around, it will just get stuck to objects and walls and enemies for absolutely no reason. It makes it like very difficult to drive. Like, if you're speedrunning and you accidentally activate Ripper Wheels, you're just screwed because it just messes up your driving so much and you get stuck to walls. It's like Hot Wheels World Race where you're driving along the side of the track and then all of a sudden you're like stuck on the wall and you can't get off the wall. That's basically what it is. Except it's a gadget, and then once you activate it, you can't deactivate it early. You have to let it ride the whole time through. It lasts like 8 seconds or something like that, maybe. It's just a hindrance to your maneuverability when you have it active. And yes, you're going to add a little bit of damage to whoever you're fighting, and it could make the difference if you're using that and your opponent isn't, and you switch to something else. But just overall, it's just annoying. You'd rather have anything else in hand at the moment. So I'm going to put that in F tier for now. The next gadget I'm going to tackle is Jet Boosters, which is the only other melee weapon in the game. And I guess it would have to go in kind of trash, because the Jet Boosters, at least you can use the Jet Boosters to make a great escape in any situation. With certain vehicles. You can activate that, spam like a few boosts, and boom, you're just out of that situation. Now you can heal or find a different gadget that you want or whatever, just escape. So at least you can do some good maneuverability with the Jet Boosters, whereas you cannot with the Ripper Wheels. It doesn't stay active after you switch to another weapon, but it does, surprisingly to me, it does do a bit more damage than the Ripper Wheels when it's used next to an enemy, which I did not know. I actually assumed Ripper Wheels would be doing a bit more or be a bit better, but yeah, for some reason the Jet Boosters is actually a little bit better close range. And yes, it's kind of difficult to do because it, by default, just using it, even if you're not pressing the gas, it'll make you go forward slightly. throughout the duration of its use, which can be kind of annoying if you're trying to fight someone up close and it's kind of pushing you away even though you're trying to attack them with it. So it can be a little annoying sometimes, but not nearly as annoying as the Ripper Wheels. And again, just the ability to have speed in any situation can be useful with certain vehicles, so that is a big benefit for the jet boosters, I would say. But again, it's still doing a little bit of damage. You'd probably rather have most other things. So, I think now we're going to take a look at... let's take a look at Magnet Mine, the last remaining standard offensive weapon. Magnet Mine is going to go in... Magnet Mine is going to go in Elite tier, the S tier. So, the Magnet Mine is just absolutely incredible. The ability to just shoot a 100% guaranteed homing missile basically at any enemy in a very big range is just incredible. And even if it doesn't lock on, you can still use it to hit walls, and the splash damage, the area of effect, is massive, and you'll still be damaging them. There's just so much good about the Magnet Mine. Now, if you're reversing and turning at the same time, it won't lock on. That is the really weird thing that you have to get used to with the Magnet Mine, and just keep in mind. If you just reverse straight, you can still lock on, but if you reverse and turn at the same time, it'll just shoot it backwards. I think it's probably a bug. I think that's probably a bug, not really intended. But regardless of that, the homing is just insane. You can fire so many of them far away, and then 4 of them will hit the opponent at like a very similar time. If you drive towards them while using it. You've seen me do that in battle videos before, where I shoot 5 of them at the enemy from a distance as I'm closing the gap, and they all arrive at similar times. It does take a little bit of time to accelerate, but once it's up to speed, it just zooms to the enemy, and it's crazy. It has massive knockback, completely knocks you away, turns you. So if you have a laser cannon, you're up against a Magnet Mine, it's over. You just can't get shots on them. Same with Atom Blast, you can't get shots on them. Yeah, it's just a disaster if you're against a Magnet Mine and you have a precision type of weapon that you're using. So, yeah, just being an extremely broken homing weapon, and it does good damage too. The rate of fire is a little bit slower than I think the Freon Bomb and the Super Zapper, but the damage is really good, and it's just so incredibly broken overall with its perfect homing. Yeah, just a crazy good weapon, insanely good. Okay, so next I'm going to do armor repair. Just for the fact that this heals you, I think that instantly just has to be S tier, right? I think that kind of has to be S tier. Yeah. I guess it's below Magnet Mine. The thing is with the armor repair is that it uses 2 bars. You know, the ammunition gauge. It uses 2 bars for 1 use. No other gadget in the game uses 2 bars for 1 use. So that is definitely something worth mentioning. You're going to get 4 uses out of it with a full tank. So you can go all the way to 1 health and heal. What I do like about it that makes it a little interesting and not totally broken is that there's a risk and reward. So because it's either heal or no heal, you either do it or you don't. It basically means if you're at 30 health and you want to save it for the last second, you can make the bet that you'll get down to like 10 health and then use it then to heal yourself fully to get more out of it. So there's a risk and reward of letting yourself get to as low health as possible while still being safe, and then using it to heal fully, because no matter what, it will always heal you to 100. So ideally you want to use it at a lower health, like 20, rather than at like 90. You don't want to use armor repair if you're at like 90 health, unless it doesn't matter in this situation. But yeah, so that's worth noting. If you use it in a smart way, you could just survive for so long using the armor repair. It's just incredibly good, especially if you have, you know, you're using DAR2 with 90 armor and you are smart about using the armor repair. You could just survive forever. it would be a nightmare for someone to try and beat you. So yeah, that makes it pretty broken. Honestly, now the more that I'm talking about it, maybe I would put it above Magnet Mine, but Magnet Mine is just so insane. And they're kind of in two leagues of their own. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Now, I'm going to put the Quantum... Oh, wait, I actually think I lied. The Quantum Annihilator also uses 2 bars. Yeah. Wait, no. How many bars does the Quantum Annihilator use? Now I'm actually forgetting. I don't think it's 4 bars. No, it's not 4 bars. No, yeah. I think it's 2 bars. Quantum Annihilator is going to be at the top of Elite tier, for sure. At the top of S tier. So yes, you're using a bunch of ammo just to get one shot off, but it's an instant kill. I haven't tested in multiplayer if it's an instant kill against a player surfing school bus. The guaranteed, usually, instant kill part of it that does the most damage is the explosion when it hits the wall. But the thing is, you will probably kill the enemy just with the shot in midair hitting them. Even if that shot just grazes them while it's going by, that might kill them, and if that's not enough, if it hits even a remotely nearby wall, it will explode. Area of effect is massive, and it will kill them. So, you just have to keep that in mind. If you're smart with how you're using your shots, yeah, having this in an actual, like, serious match would just be completely broken. And also, it would replace the laser cannon because to have this in a multiplayer match, or any match, you have to turn on the Quantum Annihilator cheat, which will, yeah, it will replace all the laser cannons with Quantum Annihilators. So if you want Quantum Annihilator Chaos, then turn on the Quantum Annihilator cheat and go to Treadwell Plaza, because there's 2 laser cannon spawns in the parking garage below, or whatever you call it. So, yeah. But then you can just camp the Quantum Annihilators. So it's kind of a mess. Yeah. Don't use this in an actual match. It's chaos, unless you just want to go crazy. Yeah, it's just a guaranteed kill. It goes extremely far, by the way. Like, some of these things explode early. The Quantum Annihilator just goes so far, and it's just incredible. Massive range, absolutely insane. Of course, the reload time is very slow. Probably the slowest reload time. Yeah, I think. But, yeah, just incredible. So the last gadget that I'm ranking is the Energy Shield, which I am going to say is OP, unbeatable. By far, the best gadget in the entire game. It's not the Quantum Annihilator, it's the Energy Shield. Because guess what? If you have an Energy Shield, and you're against someone with a Quantum Annihilator, these are the only weapons that each person has. The Energy Shield is completely invincible. There is absolutely no way to get damaged while you're in an Energy Shield, except for in the PC version of Hot Wheels Velocity X, when you fall into the lava in Combustion Caldera, your health is instantly set to 0. That, and I guess the falling off the bridge in Warehouse in Crankshaft Bay, except that's not in any battle maps. But those are the only ways, like environment damage from falling off. That's the only way you could take damage while you have this active. Otherwise, you're completely invincible. The Energy Shield does actually use 1 bar instead of half a bar like most gadgets, which I didn't know until like a couple years ago. I never even knew that, because I rarely use this weapon ever, just because of how broken it is. I literally like never use this weapon. But yeah, it uses 1 bar, not half a bar. So clearly they tried to balance it a little bit. They're like, okay, let's make it use 1 bar. But the armor repair heals you, and you can still take damage. That uses 2 bars. This should use a full gauge. That's what I think. I think if you have a full maxed out ammo for the Energy Shield, you should get 1 use. And then, you know, you're invincible for like 8 seconds. The problem is that theoretically, if you had this in any match where you're really trying to win, you can just activate this, use your other weapons for a bit, switch back to it, activate it again. You can stay invincible forever, and it's like, oh, you would eventually run out of ammo, except you won't, because it lasts so long. It only uses a bar, and you can run away, do stunts, get points and whatever, you could literally just stay invincible forever. Meaning that this is, without a doubt, the best gadget in the game. There's no comparison. And so luckily, on the battle maps in the game, the energy shield is usually pretty out of the way in terms of where it spawns if you're not using random gadgets. For example, it's in the middle of the spinning gear in Sewer Pipe Arena. It's up on a small platform in Treadwell Plaza. Where else? It's in midair in Combustion Caldera. On Warehouse District, it's in a ridiculous spot. It's so easy to get to. It's literally on the ground between two warehouses. That's where the energy shield spawns, which is insane. Why is it there in Warehouse District? Like, what they should have done is they should have made it off of a ramp or something, like the one that goes vertical. But anyways, yeah, so it's so easy to get on that map. It's just completely broken. The AI always gets it, and they just spam it. You can't kill them. Where else? Yeah, it basically just spawns in usually the difficult locations, so I think the developers knew they wanted to put it out of the way. But yeah, even if it's a little bit out of the way, sometimes it's still completely broken. Once you get it, it's just over. The game is over. So if you were going to have some sort of serious Hot Wheels Velocity X battles, you have to ban this and just say you're not allowed to use it, even if you collect it. I played against Alexandol once, and we both agreed to not use the energy shield in our one-on-ones. I actually, I uploaded that on the channel. So, yeah, you just have to ban this if you want a serious match. And don't use the cheat. And you probably might also want to ban Magnet Mine as well. Which, Alexandol and I, we did also end up banning this towards the end, I think, is what happened. Arm Repair is like, maybe you want to ban that too. So, it's like, if the game is just great tier and below, it's a pretty, like, balanced experience. But once you add elite tier and up to the gadget mix, then it's just a mess. So, looking at this again, I don't think there's anything that I want to revise. I think this all just feels right. And we have one in every tier, and it's more grouped up here, which is kind of what you'd expect for the balancing. So, and yes, these are ranked left to right in the tiers. But I think that's going to do it for this video. That's everything that there is to say about these gadgets, at least that I can think of. So I know this is going to spark some conversation. People are going to disagree with me, and people are also going to agree with me on some things as well. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I know there's going to be some conversation down there. So let's see what people have to say. What do you think of my tier list? But I think that's going to do it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe for future videos. Let me know if you like this type of video. And I will see you all some other time.